Hey guys, I'm cmasupra and welcome to a really quick Company of Heroes 2 game that I want to show you. The reason I wanted to show you this game is because it shows a a mistake that a lot of people make, but it can be a very bad mistake if you let it spiral out of control, which it can do very easily. And this mistake is called overextending yourself, where you go too close to the enemy's base and you don't have enough units to support yourself doing that, basically. But before we get into the video, I do want to go ahead and tell you guys how I did that little trick where the HQ was red even though it was mine. So what I did was I go over to the enemy's point of view and I quickly unpause the game and repause it so it has time to update all the graphics and make myself the red player entirely. And then I go over to myself, and so now all my units are blue and my HQ is blue except for the painting on it, which is still red because the game has to be unpaused before it updates all the colors. It is really just that simple, and I think most of you knew that. I know only one person guessed, which is kind of disappointing to me, but the one person got it right, because if you switch players in a replay without unpausing the game, it messes up with the colors. So that's been a bug ever since the first Company of Heroes, so they have no intentions of fixing it, and I don't really blame them. It's not an important bug in any way, shape, or form. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with this game. I am playing as the Soviets, my opponent is the Germans, and my opponent will be the one making the mistake of overextending himself. Like I said, he basically just pushed so far through the middle up to my base that I was able to actually go on the top and bottom parts of the map and cap around him and then like flank him with his MGs and stuff, and he ended up losing as a result of that, and he actually ended up quitting. I mean, you can't win a game in 7 minutes, I don't think, even if you triple cap your opponent. I think it still takes more than 7 minutes. I could be completely wrong, though. I have never tested it, nor have I really paid attention to that. There's really no reason for me to. But, anyways, as you can see, I have built a conscript squad as my first unit out of the HQ. I was about to say tier 1, but this is not tier 1, this is tier 0, the HQ. Because people started numbering the tiers very weirdly in Company of Heroes, and then it just stuck. And people wondered what the HQ was, and they said, okay, it's tier 0. Probably one of the few RTS games that have a tier 0. I don't know why I'm rambling on about that, so I'm going to go ahead and stop, because the topic's over anyways. So I have a conscript squad, and I'm sending it down the middle of the map, and that's just because conscripts will basically win against anything except for grenadiers, which in the early game, the only two units you'll really see that the conscripts will have to actually fight against are grenadiers and pioneers. They will see mortars and MGs, but that's not really fighting against them as much as it is trying to flank them or just trying to kill them if it's a mortar. So here we have our first engagement, and I am in yellow cover, he's in yellow cover, and he also has the addition of pioneers, so this is going to be a losing battle for me. However, I am sticking it out, and the reason for that is I just upgraded Molotovs, like, just then. As soon as I got it, I clicked V and threw the Molotov and forced my opponent to move. And I'm going to go ahead and get in this house because the house provides great cover, and I've actually severely damaged his Grenadier squad. As you can see, it's very low on health. My squad is also low on health, but he has been damaged, so I figured a house would help me a lot, because houses are pretty good in this game. And here you can see the MG that my opponent has brought out, and it's not going to get in the house like I'm sure he wanted it to. Ooh, that one already. That was fast. So here we can see my opponent's first mistake. He has just gone right past the house, ignoring this three-man conscript squad and going straight over here close to my base. He has done his first mistake of overextending himself, and as a result, I actually had a conscript squad up here capturing this point over here, and when I saw the MG coming to this house, I decided, hey, let me come over here and Molotov it. So that's exactly what I did, and then I used Ura to get past the MG, get out of its arc of fire, and I didn't manage to do much here, quite honestly, but I did manage to get the MG out of the house temporarily. And I kind of distracted him, made him forget about this three-man conscript squad, which is now capturing the munitions point in the middle of the base, not the base, the map here, and then it's going to go around capturing other points, while my opponent literally has this one point that he's captured next to my base, and this point they just captured next to his base, while if you look at the map, I have basically the whole bottom part of the map, as well as I'm capturing the top now with another conscript squad. Now you can see that my opponent is cutting me off here at the south by capturing this one point right here. However, he doesn't actually realize that it's not cutting me off because... I actually don't know why. All I know is I didn't get cut off. Because there's a connection point right here between the munitions point and the strategic point. So I'm getting a full loop around to connect these southern points to my base. So he thinks he's cutting me off, but little does he know he is not. Because he's pushed so far forward that I was able to capture both the top and the bottom parts of the map and still have resources, while he's not getting very many resources at all. He's getting this one point. So he is really missing out on resources here, and this is not good for him. He has successfully overextended himself one time so far in this game. So he has captured points next to my base, as you saw, but now he's trying to capture points back closer to his base, because he knows the only point that he's getting resources from is this one point. He needs resources. He thinks he's cut me off from most of my income as well, and in this case he has, but because he decided to go backwards and try to capture points closer to his base, I was able to push forward on the point that he decapped right here, or maybe even captured, and take it back, and I'm once again getting connected to the southernmost points. Hello, MG. I am sure that was a misclick by him. He was sending it to this house, and I knew he was sending it to the house, so I oora'd here. But I'm sure it was just a misclick by him, or he didn't realize there was a fight going on here because he was too busy dealing with the MG that was here and is now dead, as well as his mortar that was getting shot at by these engineers. So he has, like I said, he overextended himself earlier in the game, and now he's once again overextending himself with this MG. And so I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I took the house, you decided against the house, so I'm just going to go behind you here and kill off your MG. Because you're just firing at this other squad, and I will leave this other squad here as bait. By the way, random fact that I found out in one of the tips at the loading screen. Apparently, the longer a squad stays pinned by an MG that's shooting at it, the more damage it'll take over time. Actually, not over time, but the more damage it'll take per bullet. Apparently the damage increases or the accuracy increases, I don't know what it is, but as soon as a squad becomes pinned, they get reduced accuracy significantly. Reduced received accuracy, that is. So they're really hard for the enemy to hit. However, as they stay pinned for longer, they become easier and easier to hit, which is not true in Company of Heroes 1, so I just thought I'd tell you guys that because I just learned it today. In fact, it may have been for the loading screen for this game when I was playing it. I can't remember. Anyways, he's once again gotten in the house. He's overextending himself. I'm right here, dude. You know I have Molotovs. You know I'm going to use a Molotov. Yep, here it goes. Using a Molotov right in the building. And now I'm going to retreat because I don't know how long he's going to keep his MG in there. But it is Molotov. There we go. It's out. The Pioneers had to get out. And here's another flank from me. I oora'd try and get out of the line of arc. The line of sight, or the firing arc of the MG. I do it successfully, and he keeps trying to turn it around to suppress me. He thinks I'm gonna be busy doing something else, so he thinks he can just turn around and be good to go. But little does he know that I'm paying full attention to this area right here. I am watching him as he keeps turning his MG. Then as he gets in the house, I use a Molotov and tell my squad to attack the mortar. So that mortar is so screwed. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at how much damage I'm doing to it. There's no chance of it surviving. There it goes. So now I can capture this point back next to my base, but while all that was happening, you may have noticed, if you look at the mini-map, I have the whole map, except for this one point, and this one point which I am capturing, and there's an enemy running away right here. What's his facial expression? Oh my god, it's a legitimate facial expression in this game. It's probably one of the first ones. They all look goofy other than this one, apparently. So, yeah, as you saw, my opponent overextended himself multiple times in this game and it just screwed him over. So I have basically the whole map in my control. So just a short video telling you guys or showing you guys that you really shouldn't overextend yourself. If you do overextend yourself and you're getting wrapped around like I did, because he was focusing so hard in the middle that I was able to capture the top with this squad and the bottom with another squad that is no longer in the bottom. So as he focused in the middle, I was able to wrap around the top and the bottom of the map, capture the whole map, outflank his MGs, and it screwed him over. So, lesson to be learned for you guys, don't overextend yourself. If you do, realize you're doing it. If you're getting outflanked, it's a clear indication that you've overextended yourself, so don't do it. Now, I will say that overextending yourself is much easier to do as the Germans than it is as the Russians, because the Russian conscript squads are better when they're moving around and they get up close to the enemy infantry, the German infantry, and then they just own the German infantry. So it's much easier to be outflanked as the Germans because of the fact that you have directional MGs and your grenadiers are better at long range, which means you need to be able to go backwards in your own territory and have your MGs support you. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this video, so I hope you have enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys. Let's do a live commentary for a change. So I'm playing as the Germans. Let's go ahead and build Tier 1 right next to the Pioneers, and on the same side of the headquarters the Pioneers are on, because it doesn't actually matter where you build buildings in this game.